Shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Kodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word of truth and in sincerity. All right, I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with a quick third woe update. The daily. All right. This is Second Chronicles 20 and it's 23. All right. For the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir, utterly to slay and to destroy them. And when they had made an end of the inhabitants of Seir, everyone helped to destroy another. All right. So these heathens are about to kill each other, but first there's order in what is actually going to take place. All right. This is Secret Files 333, 4 hours ago, and the title of this video is World War III Fears. China expels U.S. guided missile destroyer after trespassing incident. So let's quickly watch this, all right? You got Moab right here chasing down Esau, all right? Babylon the Great.
We have a lot of sayings about work.
And this thing ain't going nowhere, all right? It's just ramping up.
China expels U.S. guided missile destroyer after trespassing incident. World War III fears grew after China expelled a U.S. guided missile destroyer after it trespassed into Beijing's territorial waters in the South China Sea. The South China Sea is a highly contested region and faces claims from China, Malaysia, Taiwan, Vietnam, and the Philippines. Diplomatic relations between the nations are already extremely strained. Despite having no claim over any part of the archipelago, the U.S. has increased its military presence in the region in a bid to counter Beijing's dominance. But now, the People's Liberation Army, PLA, has expelled the USS Curtis Wilbur destroyer despite the U.S. Navy claiming it was complying with international law. A spokesman for China's Southern Theater Command said China will resolutely safeguard its sovereignty and security in the highly contested region. According to the People's Daily, the spokesperson said that PLA expelled U.S. guided missile destroyer USS Curtis Wilbur that trespassed into China's territorial waters in Shisha Islands in the South China Sea. China will resolutely safeguard its sovereignty and security, regional peace and stability. Beijing accused the U.S. of provocation after a guided missile destroyer passed through the Taiwan Strait. The U.S. Navy released a statement explaining why the Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, USS Curtis Wilbur, was complying with international law.
Hey, this thing is ramping up. It can't be stopped. All right? So it behooves you to get your shield and your helmet together. All right, so let's go back to this one. New barrage of Gaza rocket fire hits Israeli cities. This thing is it's not going anywhere. This is back at ground zero. Okay? And are we going to see a ceasefire? I don't think so. Overnight, okay? It says new barrage of Gaza rocket fire hits Israeli cities overnight. So what is Israel going to do? They want them to keep shooting rockets. A brother said it was the Elder Manatazak, South Carolina. He goes, there's a difference between a missile and a rocket. Okay, what is a rocket going to do? All right. Rocket can only go so far and carry so much. A missile can be guided, can have a warhead on it. Okay? All right, let's go.
A fresh barrage of rockets hit the Israeli cities of Ashkelon and Sderot on Wednesday, causing damage to houses and vehicles. Local residents rushed to bomb shelters, while rockets were seen being intercepted in the sky by Israel's Iron Dome anti-missile system over Ashkelon. Israel and Gaza militants vowed to keep fighting after U.S. President Joe Biden urged Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to seek a de-escalation on the path to a ceasefire in the conflict.
This is not happening. Okay, this happened last night. This fighting has been going. They're shooting rockets. They're doing airstrikes. Hey, it's on and popping. It's not going back. All right, we're in the time of the end.
An Egyptian security source said the two sides had agreed in principle to a ceasefire after help from mediators, although details were still being negotiated in secret amid public denials of a deal to prevent it from collapsing.
It's not happening.
Hamas' repeated rocket attacks have caused panic and sent Israeli people rushing into shelters.
I will say this though, the MOB still has to come out in full force, and they're still dallying around with the shot and putting them together, and the little passport, the little proof of shot. All of that has to firm up and be forced. Our temptation has to come. All right, we have to see that in real time before the end. So, I mean, are they just going to keep, taking pot shots at each other before the real fighting starts? We'll see. All right.
In Gaza, the sounds of explosions roared at nightfall with heavy bombardments reported in the enclave's center and south. Hamas began firing rockets on May 10 in retaliation for what it said were Israeli rights abuses against Palestinians in Jerusalem during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. The rocket attacks followed Israeli security police clashes with worshippers at Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem and a court case by Israeli settlers to evict Palestinians from a neighborhood in Israeli-annexed East.
Okay, so more of the same. All right, but the point being is not letting up. Are they talking about a ceasefire? Hey, you can't trust the devil. Never trust your enemy. These two are enemies. They're going to trust one another?
So my wife got.
All right, this one reads, Hamas launches Iranian rockets at Israel with larger warheads. Okay? So they're bringing Iran into it. All right, let's watch this one. Get some scriptures.
Hamas launches rockets at Israel with larger warheads.
Called escalation. All right. Now they're bringing in Iran's weapons. All right. They're allies. And that's what, World War is about allied forces fighting against each other. All right? Meaning it's escalating. This thing is escalating. Slovakia got the hiccups.
Larger warheads, which cause more significant damage and have great destructive power, have begun to install the Palestinian political military movement, Hamas, on their missiles. The same information was confirmed hours later by Israeli Defense Forces spokesman Jonathan Conricus. The general trend is larger warheads and increased range, he said during an online briefing. However, military experts say that Hamas' move will not be successful, and the results are already visible. Many missiles fired from Gaza crashed into Gaza precisely because of the larger volume of the warhead and made them much less effective than previous Palestinian rockets. According to the official information spread by the Israeli authorities, a little over 2,800 rockets were fired from Gaza in the direction of Israel, of which 430 exploded in Gaza. Israel claims that these 430 missiles were the cause of the death of more than 20 Palestinians.
Missiles or rockets? Which one? Get your lies straight, propaganda.
Iran does not organize attacks, but supplies missiles. As early as yesterday, May 15th, we announced that, according to information from our field source in Syria, Iranian transport planes had delivered short and medium-range missiles to pro-Palestinian groups in the Arab country. Proof of this was the rocket attack from Syria on Israel, in which one missile crashed in Syria, and the other two fell into empty and uninhabited fields.
All right, so, you got to be able to interpret the propaganda properly. Otherwise, rocket, missile, which one is it? All right. warhead, nuke. You understand? So anyway, let's get a couple of scriptures and we'll go ahead and close it up.
I'm Natasha Kirchuk, and thanks for sticking with us on I-24's rolling coverage of the ongoing.
Slovakia. All right, let's get Jeremiah. One. Jeremiah 51 and 46. Unless your heart faint and ye hear, for the rumor that shall be heard in the land, a rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall a rumor come, Salakia, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Hey, this thing goes all the way back. All right. The last time the fighting was at its worst was in 2014. Now it's completely surpassed that. All right. So we're in this other year. And what rumor report? Let's see if we can find report. Rumors, report. Okay? Let not your heart faint and be not fearful at the report heard in the land. When a report comes in 1 year, it's a report of what? A report of war. And afterwards, a report in another year, and violence is in the land. A report of violence, ruler against ruler. All right? That report. And you are not afraid at the report that will be heard in the land. Okay, so this is a daily report. We're going to call this the rumor mill. All right? So now that your heart does not grow faint, and you are not afraid at the report that will be heard in the land, for the report will come 1 year. All right? In 2014, the report was that was the worst the fighting was until now. And after that, another report in another year. And violence will be in the land with ruler against ruler. There it is. All right, so, hey, it's not going nowhere. It's escalating. Okay? This thing is going to escalate, and we're going to report on it every day. This is the daily report. So with that, we hope that you were edified and informed, the elect. And with that, we're going to say shalom.